Hello. I knew that was you. I was like, hey, sister. You can feel me, right? I can feel you. Girl, you ready for this? 12 years.
I know. I'm ready. It's overdue. I'm ready.
Have you been here? This is marvelous.
You talk about artist development? That's
This is what Brownstone is like.
Okay. That's why I did that.
Sound speed.
Girl. I know, right? It's crazy.
Finally.
12 fucking years.
12 fucking years. But what a difference 12 years makes for me. This really means a lot to me.
Me too.
And I'm glad that we think we got a good foundation of friendship, right?
Yes.
Clearly, because I know coming back to doing the reunion, it was like, and then it just felt so easy.
It did.
We have been in the same room with each other
in like 12 years.
Oh my
And
God.
thank God we're both still here.
Like literally.
It fell right in. It just felt like NICCI and Mo, like our fodder, our banter, just picking up. And I'm like, the love is never gone. Anger maybe, and her feelings, I'm sure, and misunderstanding and not understanding, but what's up, yo? We here.
First of all, yeah, it was crazy. Like, it's like first, so like, and it's been like a bunch of different versions of like how the whole reunion thing happened, but it really was like some of the executives from TV One came and were like, hey, listen, we are doing a 20-year anniversary thing. Would you even entertain doing like an R&B Divas thing? And I'm always open, like, let's do it. Let's try to figure out how to make it happen. And then when they said we were doing That's What Friends Are For, I'm available anytime, Daniel. I'm excited to work with you again.
This is my show, so hit me anytime.
Okay, perfect.
Got some ideas or whatever, yeah.
All right, Happy New Year. Okay, bye. Oh, that's really cool. So, Dionne Warwick tribute. Walk on by, and then we're going to do That's What Friends Are For in the end. Now, what would have been dope is if they would have had all the divas come out. I was like, you know what? This will be a great opportunity. Did y'all ever consider bringing everybody on board? And especially since we did the shit. Remember we did it on the show?
Yes.
And I couldn't even sing. And y'all had to come out, and I was just overwhelmed with emotion. I'm like, well, this time I'm going to sing the shit. So I'm just glad that you said yes. And Faith couldn't do it because she got a bunch of stuff going on, and Selena was busy as well.
Yeah, everybody's busy.
But I was really glad you could do it. And Angie.
Mm-hmm. And Angie.
How did that, like, what was that like?
I just, it was great. First of all, it was great seeing you guys, but I wish, hindsight is 2020, because now I have to remember, I really wish that I would have said, hey, let somebody else make sure she's okay coming out.
Oh, when she was coming to the stage, because it was a lot.
Because of insurance liability. Nobody's thinking. I wasn't thinking like that. And I wasn't able to be fully in the moment. So that is the only thing. And I'm glad my first thing is like, I got you. Let's, I just didn't realize the
gravity of it. Yeah, me neither. I didn't either. She told me that she needed some help walking out.
But no, it's more than some help. I know she's had some serious health crisis, but I should have been like, no, I'm not comfortable. I thought I could handle it, but I should have said no. We should have somebody, her handler, walk her out.
Or maybe they're a trophy lady or something.
That's what I'm saying. Someone else as well.
That probably would have looked like she needed that, but I guess she did need it.
She did need it. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, she did need it. Like, real spit, real talk. That's what friends are for. I'll be on your side forever. That's what friends are. That's what friends
Damn, I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's not that deep. But I'm just saying, I wish I was thinking. My first thing is like, I got you. Let's go. We got it. I was like, oh shit.
We made it. I don't think the audience could tell.
No, they could. They wanted to know why we were holding hands at first. Like, why are they holding on to each other that way?
Dang, I feel bad for Angie.
Wow. I'm glad she's here.
I'm glad we here.
We all here, right?
Hello, 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 beautiful people. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. That was a flashback, you guys. That was a a really awesome conversation between my sister Monifa and I. It was really long overdue. I am going live on TikTok for the first time. So shout out to the people on TikTok. And of course, shout out to the people on IG. And of course, shout out to my folks on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Hi, this is my first live TikTok, you guys. You guys, I also have, let me see if I move this over here a little bit. I also have my WIRF.TV platform. So if you feel froggish, I always say leap on into that WIRF.TV platform. You guys, I didn't really have time to find out what the latest gossip and the latest stuff that's going on out here in these entertainment industry streets. I have been really focused on feeding the algorithm, y'all. I've been learning so much about what it means to, hold on, TikTok, let me move y'all over here. See, get a little better view here. Yep, there we go, TikTok. Hi, my TikTok family. And hello again to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course, Instagram. I appreciate you guys. If you come in to visit me from other platforms to our WIRF.TV YouTube channel, please do me a kind favor of hitting the like, share, and subscribe button as you enter the room. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know it's a whole lot of people on YouTube. It's a whole lot of people on Instagram, and I'm just so glad to be one of the people you think is worth your time tonight. So I didn't really prepare a show. Like I said, you guys, I have been so busy feeding the algorithm. I've been learning so much about what you need to do for YouTube, what you need. Each platform kind of has its own way of operating, right? We just kicked off our Brownstone TikTok. If you are on TikTok, please make sure you follow us at Brownstone Official. We just kicked that off, and you know, the Whitney Houston video kind of just took off, you guys, and it you know, really ended up doing really well for us and introducing us to a new audience. I don't know. I hear every platform sort of has their specialty or whatever. So I'm just happy to know that we can still reach people. And at a time when so much is going on out here in these here entertainment industry, and hi TikTok, I see y'all. Let me bring y'all in a little closer. Hope I'm not disturbing anything. No, I'm good. But at a time when there's so much going on, you guys, it just feels good to lean into, you know, creativity, and we've got so much great content to share, and I've been kind of holding on to it for a minute. Not really holding on to it, because some of it is repurposed, some of it is stuff that you guys have seen before, like that video that you saw at the opening. For my other platforms, if you're not watching me on WIRF.TV YouTube channel or Facebook or LinkedIn, you didn't get a chance to see it. But in the opening, I shared a video I did with Monifa. We were invited, TV One, like I said in the video, reached out to me and asked if we would be interested in, you know, I would be interested in doing because it was everybody, but they came to me first and asked if I would be interested in doing an R&B Divas reunion for their Urban One Honors event. And I just thought this would be a perfect opportunity for us to reunite. Monifa and I hadn't seen each other in 12 years. So it was really good to just hug her and share some things that were on my heart. And, you know, by the grace of God, it was all in you know, received in a positive way. So I'm grateful for that. Hey, Lamar. Lamar says the tour was everything, honey. Please don't forget as you come into the WIRF.TV YouTube channel to like, share, and subscribe. That way we let the algorithm know that you guys are interested in what we're doing. And again, this is my first TikTok live. So hi, TikTok. Y'all come on over to WIRF.TV live and hang out with us over there. So guys, I just wanted to do something a little different today, which is basically do a live Q&A. So if anybody has any questions they want to ask me, of course, you know, I always got something to talk about, but if anybody has any questions they want to ask me, I'm very transparent, and now would be an awesome time to share. Encourage your viewers to share the live and invite more friends. Okay, so on my TikTok, they're telling me to encourage my viewers to share the live and invite more friends. So y'all, please share the live and invite more friends. How about that? Y'all know I've been on my health kick. I'm doing 2-a-days. Quit playing with your girl. 2-a-days it is in real life. We are not joking around. We hit 55 this year, double nickels. So we have to look like something. You know what I'm saying? And especially, you know, people I think underestimate what it takes to be out on that stage performing for a doggone hour. And especially when you're performing, you're not just sitting down. You actually out here in these streets sweating and moving and grooving and whatnot. So I really have made a commitment to a healthier lifestyle. And I'm, you know, super confident that I can stick it out this time. You feel me? Okay, J-Rock says, I have several questions, but I'll let someone else go first. No, come on. Be respectful with your questions, but please. Hi, Cordell. I see you, Cordell. How are you? Very good to see you. Please be respectful with your questions, but you know, y'all know me. I ain't gonna hesitate to be like, Nanya. Remember that back in the day, Nanya? What else is new? So obviously every day we wake up to something, and it's not always pleasant. So I want to just say to all the celebrities and the influencers and folks that we have been losing lately, my heart goes out to you and all of your family members. I can't even imagine what it feels like, you know. Well, I can't imagine. I'm sorry. That's a lie. I know exactly what it feels like to lose somebody that you love. So, but I just can't imagine. In particular, I was thinking about our brother, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Really, really sad to hear that his daughter allegedly was with him at the time of the accident. And, you know, I try to wait a little bit because I know, you know, whenever, no shade to TMZ, but TMZ had all of Maxee's details wrong. So I've just learned that a lot of times when you hear stuff in the news to just wait until you get more, you know, reliable details. You know what I'm saying? I think we've really become a society that just runs with stuff. And I mean, I get it, because the beautiful thing is that we're able to communicate right away with our audience, communicate right away with the public. So that's the good thing about social media. But sometimes the not so good thing about social media is that stories come out because instead of people being right or accurate, people want to be first. And that's what happened with Maxee, and the first story that came out about her wasn't true, and it just taught me a whole lot about, you know, how that works. I do not have my glasses on. Let me see here if I can see what you have said. I need to put the glasses on so I can see what you have said. When was the last time you were in the D? And did you know Cody has a different name now? Okay, so I have been spending a lot of time in the D, and that comes from my very first IG Live, Sir Love in the Room. Thank you so much. And you're correct, TMZ never gets it right. So last time I was in Detroit, I was just in Detroit for a show. We had a show at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. It was a wonderful experience. In fact, I'm going to drop in a little clip and show y'all a little clippity clip of our little moment at the Aretha Franklin. Since you brought it up and everything, hold on one second. Let me find.
Let's go,
All right, y'all. I love that venue. I said it before and I will say it again. So if you are from Detroit, you know that venue used to be called the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, but it is now, I'm sorry, I had that all wrong. If you're from Detroit, then you know that the venue was called Shane Park. So most people remember it as Shane Park. So to answer your question, yes, we had a wonderful show at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. I actually had my nephew, Jacob, came up, and my sister, who died March 23rd of glioblastoma, her son, Jake, came up, and he did a record called I'm Not Giving Up. And it's a really beautiful story. I think I'll play it at the end of the live tonight, the whole introduction of him on stage and everything. It's a really awesome story because, you know, as an only child, losing your mother at 49 years old to an aggressive, you know, incurable form of brain cancer is just in and of itself just a full and complete, you know, like I can't even imagine, right? At some point, we're all going to lose somebody that we love, but by the grace of God, you know, many of us have siblings or other family members, but when you're an only child, I can only imagine that it hits different. So my heart goes out to anyone who is an only child or was an only child and lost a loved one, because that's hard. It's difficult. So anyway, the long-windedness of that was just to say, Jacob came out on stage. He lit that mother up. I told him, don't burst, auntie, when you get out here on this stage. I got some kind of weird filter. You guys, I didn't choose this filter. It was my first live, so just bear with me on it because it's doing something crazy over here on my TikTok. But shout out to God Made Jake is his performance name. And as a matter of fact, let me not waste no time. I'm about to show y'all this little clip right quick, fast, and in a hurry. Hold on, let me find it. And I will share it with y'all because I'm a proud auntie. I'm a very proud auntie. And I feel like, you know, you guys just need to see a little moment with my nephew. Oh, I gotta find it. Okay, give me a minute to find it, and then I will drop it in. How about that part? Oh wait, hold on. All right, here we go. Can I drop it in here? I want to share another story. This probably be the last story. So, a couple months ago, I lost my baby sister. She had brain cancer. Shout out to Henry Ford. Anybody in here who work for Henry Ford? I love y'all. They did an awesome job. But she fought as long as she could. She made me promise her a couple things. That's a warrior pose! Yes! The most important thing she asked me to do was make sure I took care of her son, my nephew Jake, and my great nephew, her grandson. And it was tough. It was hard, as you can imagine.
As a mother, my mama ain't play. She ain't play about me. Like, my mama was strong in so many ways.
Yes.
And far as to just the responsibility she made me learn, because she knew what route I needed to be on. My mama always used to say, and even towards the end, baby, get your stuff together. Get your stuff together. Every time I think about what I want to do or how I want to move, I think about how I want to honor my mama. And the first thing she say is, get your stuff together.
He was going through a tough time, as you can imagine. As an only child, losing your mama. She was only 49 years old. And he said, Auntie, sometimes it's like, what's the point? Sometimes you just feel like giving up. And I said, no. That's not what we do. We're not giving up. No way. I said, I got this record, and I need a remix. And I ain't no rapper, but you got a good pen, and you can do it. So he wrote his feelings out. And I said, if that shit is dope, I'll bring you on stage in front of all them people and let you do your thing. I know, that's right. So in the spirit of keeping my promise to my baby sister, his name is God Made Jake. And by the way, that's his Cash App too, God Made Jake. So if y'all like what y'all see, Show my nephew some love. I love you so much.
Fire.
Don't you embarrass me now. You better do what
Detroit,
you gotta
what
do.
up? What up?
You better make your mama proud.
Working all the time, still ain't lost my mind. No, still ain't lost my mind. Where am I finding this time? I ain't gave up yet, I'm on that 0-16 grind. I done been down face flat, Lord know I feel to cry. Working all the time, losing my mama. Nah, I ain't got time for your drama. We can talk about solutions. It's not about giving up if you can see the truth.
What the truth is.
Standing on your word and then don't turn your back. Cause once them haters don't believe in you, it ain't no going back. I done been down way low in that valley. I done lost some friends, I done lost it all. Then I got back up, I took it to the chin. Cause ain't no telling me that I can't make it.
What?
Ain't no telling me that I can take it. Telling me that I can't.
Something telling me that you the greatest.
Telling me that
But I can't just sit back and be patient.
I'm not getting up.
on my mind.
Hey, hey, no way.
Ain't waste no time.
No, I'm not giving up.
It's on my mind. I gotta shine.
No way.
Ain't waste no time.
I'm not giving
Got a lot that's on my mind. I gotta shine.
No way.
Ain't waste no time.
Tomorrow's on the way. Tell me what you talking about, nephew.
Yeah,
Hey, hey, hey,
But I got a lot that's on my mind.
hey.
But I gotta shine.
Yeah.
Ain't waste no time. Still got that plan on my mind. Time went too fast. And now that you gone, got me missing you so bad. You touched my mind, my heart, my soul. Now this pain that's in my heart, the revenge that's on my mind. Lord, place your hands on me, cause I got demons on my mind. Yeah, it's some trauma in my chest, but I'ma bring it to the fire. And if they know just like I know, the Lord won't let me see them guys.
Hey.
We gon' be alright.
Get him, Jay.
Promise you that I got us. Know the times are getting hard. Hoping your arms around us. I couldn't have got this far. I wouldn't be here without you. Your love sent me some places I never thought I would get to. Screaming because I miss you. Crying I wanna kiss you. I'm so sad I can't be with you.
I'm so sad I can't be with you.
Screaming because I miss you. Crying I wanna kiss you. I'm so sad I can't
Come on,
be
y'all.
with you.
No, I'm not getting up. Hey, no way. No, I'm not giving up. Come on, y'all. Hey, hey, no way. I'm not giving up. Come on, y'all. Hey, hey, no way. Tomorrow's on the way. Baby, listen to me when I tell you. I was so proud, you guys. I was so proud of that young man right there. I was super duper proud of him. You know, grief is such a journey, y'all, in real life. It is such a journey. And whenever you have a moment where, you know, you can turn it into something else, whether it is creative or just, you know, doing something kind for another person, whatever it is, it's such a journey. So I'm sending my heart and prayers and positive thoughts out to Malcolm Jamal Warner's family and everybody who has ever been in this place, because God knows it is a terrible, terrible feeling. So, okay, so let's get into some of these questions. Okay, so Lamar, what does Lamar have to say about the situation? Lamar said, we need a sit down between you and Selena because I feel like there's unresolved issues. That's interesting. So I would love to sit down. Not only would I love to sit down and talk to Selena, I would love to sit down and talk to all of the ladies that were on R&B Divas, because I really think that healing the franchise isn't just about me and what issues that I had with any one particular individual or another. I think that me and Selena's issues were probably, you know, because we were season 1 and people were new to the show and, you know, probably felt like our issues were just really super front and center, which they were. Absolutely. I'm not negating that we definitely have some things that I would love to be able to iron out. But I say this to say there's so many other relationships. Like Latavia and I weren't even in the same season of R&B Divas, and she and I sat down and had a conversation about her experience and what this Diary of a Diva, which is the working title of the series. You guys, please, as you are coming in, please do me the kind favor of hitting the like, share, and subscribe button. We are growing this media platform, and every like, every share, every subscribe really helps and really counts. But yeah, the short story is I would love to talk to Selena. And I extend an open invitation for us to have that conversation. I think there's a great place for healing, but some people heal differently. I'm not saying this is where she is, because I don't think we've ever had a real conversation about sitting down and having a conversation. I think, maybe some years ago, I may have reached out to all of the ladies because, ironically, which is a little bit of inside baseball, I had actually reached out to all of the women when I found out that Angie was ill. And this, of course, had nothing to do with her transition in March as well. It's crazy. Oh, my God. Right. It's really crazy. I lost Angie and my sister, and that's part of the reason, God forgive me, that I sometimes forget, because I just have to put it out of my mind because I love them both very much. But anyway, I would love that. I would love that. I would also love to talk. I mean, I want to talk to Little Mo? Like, I heard that, at the end of the day, a lot of people, there were people who had issues with me that I didn't even know had issues with me. And I'm just like, can we please talk? Can we please have a conversation? And as the creator of the franchise, I just want, naturally you give birth to an idea, you create something, you want it to live for as long as possible. You want it to thrive and go for as long as possible. And it was very disappointing when R&B Divas ended. Now I'm not going to hold you up. I wasn't tripping too hard because I wasn't being paid for it, nor was I being paid for the spinoff Hollywood Divas, which the other producers from R&B Divas were paid and credited and all that other stuff, right? Iron in their pockets, but they damn sure got credit on IMDb for Hollywood Divas, which allegedly was Carlos and Todd's, but something I pitched to TV One long before it even came up. But anyway, we're not about to turn this into, I know y'all like, this bitch always, I can't help it that I have dope ass ideas that people just don't want to be fair and partner with me on, and instead try to slide up from under me and forget that I am the child of a single woman army. And I'm not here for anybody pissing on me and telling me it's raining. So yeah. We need to sit down between. Okay, well, let me get some more questions. What up, Forever Deshaun? I know that's right. The song, oh my goodness, the song helped me through my brother. Oh gosh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's interesting because my nephew was really going through it. And, therapy has taught me that, my gift to write and create and perform, and that it's not just about entertaining people. It is also about healing myself. And I go through a really, intimate journey when I'm creating something. Like I said, whether it's writing a song for Brownstone or writing a script or a TV show or treatment or whatever, it's a very personal experience, and it is therapeutic and healing. So I told my nephew, I'm like, listen, he was also, I learned very early on that he was creative. I played back a tape when he was like 8 years old, talking about how he wanted to perform, and maybe one day somebody will give you a shot. So it's just really cool to look back and look at that footage and see he got that shot, and he did an awesome job. So you guys, the single, I'm Not Giving Up remix, God Made Jake, is available on all platforms. So run that up. He just had his 25th birthday. You guys, run it up on those streaming platforms. And as you come in, please make sure you hit the like button. Y'all come up with these questions. Don't be shy now. I'm here to answer all of your questions. You feel me? I can hear his pain. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can hear his pain in the flow for sure. Let's see. Are there any other questions? J-Rock, the actor, you said you had a whole windfall of questions for me, but I don't see any popping up. So another thing that I found was really interesting is that, wow. I don't know what's popping off in the entertainment industry. I can tell you it's so different than when we first started. Can we please go back to the 90s? Matter of fact, I'm going back to the 90s. Anybody want me to bring you back something? Morals, talent, integrity, some baby fat or some FUBU. What y'all want from the 90s? Because Lord have mercy. You know, listen. I didn't know. I didn't know that the 90s would be the last of a golden era. I had no idea that the 90s would be, you know, something that we would all be yearning for, because it would be like the last time you would actually get that sauce that only the 90s has. So, okay. Are you really, okay. Are you really 55? Oh, thank you, Lamar. I am really 55, 1970, baby. I'm a 70s baby all the way. I'm just posting these questions. I can hardly read them. Hold on. Let me get my eyes. Where are they? First question, why you never perform My Side of the Story? I absolutely love that song. Been listening to it since I was a kid. I listen to it all the time. I was saying goodbye to him so I could be here with you. Before you give up on us, you gotta hear my side of the story. I told him that it was over. I just needed the closure to give you all of my love, and now you heard my side of the story. I hear you telling me that that's for you, baby. That was a jam. And let me tell you a little trivia behind that My Side of the Story song. I did not want to do that record. I'm not even gonna hold you up. I did not want to do that record. I actually did the video. In the video for that, Ray Lewis and Marcellus Wiley were my two leading men, and I had like a little affair. I was having an affair with Marcellus, was my man in the video, and then Ray Lewis was, wait, no, I'm sorry. Okay, said it wrong. Ray was my man who owned a club. Marcellus was the dude on the side. And he saw on the video cameras that there was some stuff going on behind the scenes. And he thought that it was something going on, and it wasn't anything going on. I was actually trying to get away from it. It was a really cool, interesting video, you guys. But yeah, My Side of the Story came out off, it was the first single, only single really off my Grown Folks Music album. I have to say, I really enjoyed working on that Grown Folks Music album. To be totally honest, and I don't even know if this is why I love that record so much, but every song on that album, pretty much, I worked, somebody said sing the high note. Listen, we're going to talk about them high notes too. But I worked with Doug and Eric on that record for a lot of songs, and Marcelo, actually. And, that was a good record. So many good songs on that record. And the songs just flowed. And I think the reason why the songs flowed is because I wasn't writing them for myself, which is really crazy. I was actually writing the records to place on other people. And I'll never forget Bernard Alexander, who was my manager. He was our manager at Brownstone, and then he reached out to me and started representing me. Well, I'm sorry, no, he came by the studio because I was just, again, writing songs to place them. And this was like 2000s, I want to say. But I let him hear the records, and he was like, no, those need to be your records. And I was like, no. So then he came back to the studio like a week or so later, and he had the head of MCA. And I believe, was it Jeffrey Holliston? One of them. But anyway, they were like, look, we'll give you a deal to do these records now. So we did it was Jeffrey Harleston who actually gave me the ownership of my masters back. That's what it was. That's the trivia here. So Grown Folks Music is streaming right now. I own the masters. Hello. It's some really good songs on that record. I got a duet with Dave Hollister on it. It's some good songs on there. So I think what I'm going to do at some point, because I got like solo records and Brownstone records, is do like a hodgepodge live performance, best of, greatest hits kind of moment or whatever. Because yeah, that's the one thing about music, is great music never really dies. It just continues to reach people, and what's real speaks to the heart. Okay, so what can we do to support your platform? Thank you, VJ Kearney. I appreciate you. So So let me, you know what? Let me just have a very real moment with you guys. So initially, and this was in I started WIRF, WIRF in 2017, actually. Maybe even a little bit before that. And it's crazy because every single time and WIRF is a acronym for Women in Reality Film, TV, Music, and Media, right? So I launched this because way back in, y'all know I've been kind of doing the whole like Divas and Cocktails. If you real old school with my YouTube stuff, it's some Divas and Cocktails episodes back there. Some She Speaks Live episodes. So I wanted to set this thing up. The plan was always to set this platform up so that it would be a place for really talented stories to be told, performances to be shown. It was never really about me. Most of the content you see on this YouTube channel now is, heavy NICCI G. And you'll see like some vintage archival stuff from R&B Divas and Brownstone stuff or whatever. But the goal was for this to be kind of like what Isaac Hayes is doing so successfully over. Shout out, you guys. Hold on. Can we get some love? Can we show some love to our brother Isaac Hayes, because fan base just surpassed like some huge number. I want to say $12-13 million or something like that, which is huge. But initially that was the whole thing. I was like, let me start this platform. We were going to be, VOD, SVOD streaming platform. And we started building it. And then my mother got ill and I became a primary caregiver for her for a few years. And then she passed away, and then COVID came, and then the P-Valley lawsuit came, and it just I never really had the opportunity to invest the way I wanted to. And if I'm completely honest with you, the way you support the platform, the short answer to your question is to like it as soon as you come into the YouTube channel, please. We are really working hard to build this YouTube channel up, okay? As you see, all of your faves are, I think, Oprah even on YouTube now, Don Lemon's on YouTube, everybody's on YouTube. And what's crazy is the people on YouTube who are hugely successful, your Funky Denevas, all them folks out there that's killing on YouTube, right? They seem to be so geeked up when they get a linear opportunity. Not saying those people I named in particular, but like during the R. Kelly trial, you saw a lot of like new media people and YouTube people like really excited because Legacy News and Legacy Media was like, hey, can you talk to us? And that's because y'all got the sauce. Don't ever let nobody listen. Tisa Tells, all of these people, Queen Sheba, like all of you people, amazing, talented creatives out here in these YouTube streets. I bop in and watch all of you from time to time. Don't let the legacy media, the linear media, make you believe that because they got them letters that's been around for a lot longer than you have, that, their platform it holds more value. What you're doing reaches the people. It inspires. It's crazy because a lot of our folks that came up on legacy media and in movies and shit like that, they are like, how could this YouTube? Baby, listen, me breaking 20,000 on YouTube, I'm like, I cannot wait. So that is how you can help me, VJ Kearney, please. And the most important thing that you can do to help me in this moment, right, if I'm just being completely honest with you guys, is create, repost, if you send people to this, to WIRF.TV YouTube, then they'll see a lot of the things that I'm working on. But right now, while this writ of certiorari is in the Supreme Court of the United States, I need as much traction. I need as many people talking about it. I need as many people creating and building awareness for this as possible, because again, and this is the thing, we're not turning this into the P-Valley rant. And every time I say that, I hit that corner and it being a rant. But in all seriousness, this is not about me fighting P-Valley anymore. Like the ship has kind of sailed, for lack of a better word. I might not be saying that right, but the Supreme Court is not here to litigate or relitigate an old case. What they're here to determine, and what my questions for them are, right, got two of them, is whether or not my due process rights were violated because the court abused its discretion by kicking out my expert's testimony and the judge acting as a trier of fact instead of giving me the opportunity to go to a jury. And I said this before, and I'll keep saying it. A criminal has a right to a jury. That whole due process, you can definitely be seen by a jury of your peers. That is something that applies very specifically. Without a doubt, you get it, no question. If you ask for it, from what I understand, I'm not an attorney, in a criminal trial. In a civil trial, where a crime has been committed, you don't always get that guarantee because there's something called a summary judgment, which gives the judge the ultimate power to decide whether or not you go forward. And the reason it's so important to create awareness and to build awareness about my case is because whether you all see it or not today, because some of y'all don't like me because of R&B Divas, some of y'all don't like me because I got black guns and my knees knocked, some of y'all don't like me just because you know, having a bad day. And that's okay, because I probably don't like your motherfucking ass either. But bigger than that is that if this case is allowed to slip through the cracks in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court decides there's nothing to see here, your due process rights weren't violated, it doesn't matter that you're an underfunded creative and they're a multi-billion-dollar company, it is going to solidify that major corporations with billions of dollars can and will always win against underfunded litigants, because 80 to 90% of the time or greater, they do win. It is very, very rare, extremely rare that a plaintiff ever wins in a civil, especially copyright. And when you're taking on Hollywood and the industry, you have like a 0.0% chance. And here is a golden opportunity for the highest court in the land to say, not she's right and you're wrong, but she deserves the opportunity to have her evidence heard. And that's it. That's all it's about, you know? All right, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. So J-Rock says, we can talk we can talk about this all night, baby, if you want to. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you did. I see what you did there. You and Dave Hollister saying, baby, listen, that She'll Never was, let me tell y'all something about that She'll Never. When I get on these here internet streets and I say, like, my highs be highing, and they don't just be highing because, you know, I'm singing in my chest voice. I am singing full throttle from my diaphragm. Well, Brownstone. If you sing in Brownstone, you sing it from here, right? I mean, at 22 and 23 and 24 and even 30 something years old, I just had a much higher register and I just had a whole lot more energy vocally. Now, I've learned a different way of playing my notes and playing my parts, so I'm still going to give you. Now, there's still tons of power in this F-150. You understand what I'm saying? There's plenty of it. It's just when you try to combine that power with high notes and a high range. Now, if I was singing it falsetto or some shit, it would be easy. It's very simple. And I might try to figure out with a vocal coach, I might need to call Regina or somebody, Miss Jan, one of them folks, because rest in peace to James, who was our vocal coach, and he is in heaven now. But I'm going to work on it. I'm not going to be lazy, but I'm also, like I said, Michael Jordan was not just a great ball player. He knew how to play as a team. And if Alexis and Aaron can hit those notes with ease because their voices are higher, as we age as women, our voices get lower. It just is what it is. I've heard some women say after they got pregnant, I think it was Anita Baker, register completely changes. And to be up there trying to reach for them notes, I'm sorry, please give Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, and all the divas, because that is a very 90s vocal style. It's a very 80s and actually 70s, 80s, and 90s vocal style, because we were listening to Chaka Khan, Aretha Franklin, them sisters, queens, sang full out highs. Diaphragm, full out highs. It wasn't that little, you know, not to be shady, because that mid range is dope as F2, because there's a lot of people who have that little chesty kind of mid range sound that just know exactly what they're doing in there. But when you singing that whole, yeah, okay. What contemporary? Okay, hold on. XO, what up, though? What contemporary positives would you take back to the 90s with you? What benefits of present day would mesh well with the 90s? I miss it too. Ooh, that's a really great question. What an awesome question, you guys. Please hit like when you come in to WIRF.TV YouTube channel. What contemporaries would I take? The ability to have direct access to your fan base, right? I don't know that, okay, so streaming is such a double-edged sword, right? Such a double-edged sword, because it's a beautiful thing, because with streaming, you could reach a whole lot of people a whole lot faster, but the way we get paid for streaming right now is a travesty. So I would take streaming and direct relationship to audience, but the deal points, absolutely not. And then I don't know. Like, I don't even know the direct access to audience. I don't know. I don't know. Because then on the flip side of that, I feel like too much exposure for a lot of us. I mean, everybody on R&B Divas heard it at some point or another. I used to like you before I saw the show. So too much exposure, like, I guess some of it should be some mystery. But these days, honey, if you are not working that social media, like, and can we just have a moment to talk about this real quick? Because this is definitely something that has been on my spirit to share. I remember when social media was just kind of like a pastime activity, right? It was just kind of like, hey, let me, build my audience. And, well, never pastime. It was always a benefit to business. But now social media is the business of entertainment. And you literally have to get on this mug every single day. And I was watching some TikTok videos and just kind of learning. And they're like, yeah, you need to post 4 or 5 times a day. I'm like, what are you talking about? So your life becomes figuring out content to post in social media so that you can get the followers up, because the followers now are super important to who shows up to your concerts, what sponsors. And I even heard that there are actors and stuff in Hollywood. A really good friend of mine who's an incredible actor. Y'all know him. I'm not going to put his name out there, but you know him. He is in one of y'all favorite cult hood classics. And he was having a conversation about how it's not about, you're real anymore. It's about how many social media followers you have. And it's kind of whack, because now we see a whole bunch of people who are just famous on social media thinking that they can act. I said it. Just because they leads on shows and whatnot. And Okay, let me stop. See, that's getting messy. But I don't know what I would take. I really don't. Musically, creatively, sonically speaking, back to the 90s, it's a toss-up as to whether or not I would want social media and access to fans having access to the artists and creatives. I feel like that makes it not so special. I feel like there was something to be said about, and then it's like, okay, you want CDs back? Nobody wants CDs back. We all like going to Apple Music. But yeah, I'm going to have to get back with you on that one. Hey, NICCI, okay, got to get these back on. Hey, NICCI, I love, as always, the song Searching for Your Love and Don't Play Me Wrong were the songs left out of the Still Claim Me album. Yes, absolutely. So Searching was for the Woo soundtrack, I want to say. Searching was Woo soundtrack, and the Don't Play Me Wrong, I forget what that was for. It was another soundtrack record, I think. Hey, fellow comment. Yes, DJ, please, thank you, and thank you for putting me on your platform. Pay NICCI her money, baby. I understand. And this really, at this point, not even about money. It's about changing the law, because, that's what it's really about at this point for me. You and Kiki should do a song. I would love that. I'll sing background for her. Why Brownstone only have 2 albums? Oh, okay. And not being shady, but that group's iconic. Okay. Not being shady, but the group's iconic, one of the best R&B girl groups. Why the studio didn't force you guys to put out a 3rd album? That's a really interesting question. So, a little bit of Brownstone background. I never wanted to be a solo artist, you guys. I told you the story about how grown folks music came along. I was just writing records for other people. I never wanted to be a solo artist, but I ended up doing it because I was kind of, the opportunity kind of literally put itself right in front of me. But I always wanted to be in a group because I've always been a fan of harmony, and I just never really had the passion to be a solo artist. I still don't have the passion to be a solo artist. It's just not something. I think you really have to be super passionate about that. Now, I always find myself in a group with people who do have a passion to be solo artists, and that is great, right? I don't have a problem with that at all. I just think the way you do it and the way you transition out of it is how you preserve the legacy of the group. So all that to say, that never put Mimi out of the group. Never argued Mimi out of the group either. Hello. It wasn't me. She wanted to move on. She wanted to have babies. She wanted to get married. She wanted to sing jazz. She wanted a different life. And we gave her the blessing of doing that. Then Maxee, one day I went to the lawyer's office and they were like, okay, NICCI, you're the only member of the group remaining. Maxee has waived all rights and responsibilities to the Brownstone brand. And she has decided that she doesn't want to do this anymore. She wants to go to London and do a completely different style of music. She wants to do something that is more global and universal. And why wouldn't she? She was from South America. So why wouldn't she want to do that? Now, again, there was some influence. I'm just going to tell you, there was some influence in her making that decision for sure. But Maxee left the group for 10 years. A lot of people don't know that. She moved to London and she was there. She was away. She left the group for 10 years. And I just kind of, and after Maxee left, I'll never forget our last performance as a group was the Keenan Ivory Wayans show, I want to say. We performed Kiss and Tell, like a rock version of the song Kiss and Tell. I still love that performance to this day because we looked so cool, y'all. I was a skeleton, but we looked like fucking rock stars. It was awesome. And it was a great version of the record. And except that last note in the end, it was, and I pulled my mic away, so it wasn't me. That was shady, but I was, what's that? But the group broke up after that. Keena did mention, well, we can maybe find somebody else. But at that point, we had done the whole like BET Video Soul transitioning of group members and, and I came up with this harebrained idea to do this on national, which it was actually a good idea, but, me and my creativity, let's do it on television and we can make it a passing of the baton moment or whatever, which all that did is put you under the microscope like, who leaving next? So and then I started doing TV, you guys. Remember, I was doing like Living Single. I did Martin. I started like pursuing acting. I wanted to be an actress, right? So the group disbanded for a minute and nothing really was happening until a couple spot date opportunities started to come up here and there, and I think, no. Even before the spot date things, I moved to Atlanta. That's what it was. I moved to Georgia, and like that was the first time I moved into like being a producer and a creator and started a label, and then also, and then I was writing the solo stuff, and then I got the solo deal and I did that and da. So anyway, Brownstone never did a third album because the group disbanded, and the group did not disband because of me. I don't know why in the entire hell y'all always assume that I would want to destroy something I created. I created Brownstone. I had auditions. I picked the girls. I choose them. R&B. Why, P-Valley? Why would I want to destroy or tear apart something I created from my heart and soul? It wasn't me. But because I'm a vocal person who says what I have to say and don't mince no word, it had to be her because she the one with the big mouth that's just going to say anything. If anything, that should tell you if I did it, I would tell you that I did it. And guess what? With my chest, yeah, I did it, but I didn't. What happens is when you're in a group especially when you're in a group with a person like me, which is why our current group, Aaron and Alexis, they have the Magic Joneses. Lex is a TikTok influencer, hair influencer. Aaron has a whole thing that she's working. So we all have our independent individual endeavors, and that works. And at some point with they singing asses, it might be, hey, you know what? I want to work on an album by myself. I want to do that. But I believe in my heart of hearts that God has put us in position to always be able to protect and preserve this brand. So you will get a third Brownstone album. And unfortunately, it won't be with the original three women, and that is the reason why. Gordon Chambers, yes, we love Gordon Chambers too. Okay, EXO says, if and when the SCOTUS remands you. Okay, let me see. I know y'all, I be saying I'm doing Q&A and then my ass be talking. If and when SCOTUS remands your case back to the lower court, are you psychologically prepared to suit back up for this battle? How are you preparing for either outcome? Ooh, I said I would answer anything, didn't I? Leave it to EXO. I see you. I see you, EXO. I see you. I appreciate you too. My husband and I both have made the decision that we are not going to have any real expectations either way. The reason I get out here and I talk about it all the time and I'm advocating for it is because, of course, I want to create awareness and hopefully inspire the justices to really take a close look, which they're doing. September 29th, the justices are evaluating my case. But I also understand that the chances and the likelihood of me getting sent back to the lower courts, it would be a huge surprise. It would be a huge, unexpected, honestly, surprise. We are very hopeful that the Supreme Court decides to allow us to go back to the lower court, but we are not expecting it because we understand, statistically speaking, our odds, especially since I'm a pro se litigant, are very slim. Right? Even with them doing things like asking for a supplemental appendix, which is where they ask me, for some specific information that actually is a boon for my case and helps my case. Even with these little pluses, big pluses, they're still big pluses that I'm getting. We still don't have any expectation because we've just been let down so many times. And the reason I say that is because we found out from the Ninth Circuit the day my husband buried his father, 10 days after we flew to LA to have this hearing with him. The day he buried his father, my husband came back from the airport and I had to tell him we lost at the appeals court. We have we're in the long conference where they're considering our case on September 29th, but then on my husband's birthday is when they're going to tell us whether or not we are granted certiorari. So the question is, am I psychologically prepared to go back down that road? 150,000% yes. If they give, hell yes. If they give me the opportunity, if they give our family the opportunity to fight at the lower court and have a jury trial, 100%. But what I hope the outcome is, and I think this is going to be my first time articulating this publicly, I hope that Lionsgate and Starz and Katori Hall and all the people over there just decide, let's stop doing this and let's just wrap this up and let's just come up with something amicable and reasonable and all move on with our lives. That is the perfect scenario for me because I don't want to have to go through years and years of what I've been through for 5 years already. I want to move on and be a nana and a wife and build my company and do really positive things. But at this phase, because the judge in Los Angeles has given them the right to take everything we have, right? Well, okay, let me rephrase this. Because he has ruled in favor of me paying all of the defendants' legal fees, which are over $1 million, including the money that I still owe all of the people who represented me. I'm a couple $1 million in the hole. So you gotta decide your psychological battle. Either your psychological battle is you got stuck with $2 million in legal fees because you wanted to speak up and get a fair trial and have a fair shot with your evidence and have it heard and have due process, and you gave up and you said, fuck it. Or you fought all the way and you did everything that you could possibly do, and you prayed and you advocated and you asked the public for, you know, their support and advocacy, and it still did not work. Then you know you did everything. So at that point, I'm able to say, hey, listen, we did everything there is to do. I would be crazy to continue to be on this crazy downward spiral of P-Valley if the Supreme Court said, beat it, we don't have, ain't nothing. There's nothing else to do at that point. I'm completely disappointed in the system. I don't believe in it anymore at that point at all, right? But I still have to go on with my life, and I still have to be healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, and I still have to create because I'm still here. And I say this all the time. My sister for 18 months knew that she had terminal brain cancer. She knew that the miracle would be the only thing, you know, that would extend her life, because the numbers and the facts and the reality of what she was dealing with was that she had glioblastoma. There's no cure for it. It is aggressive. It's horrible. It's the most fucked up shit ever in the whole wide world. And I watched my sister bravely battle that with the knowledge of this is probably just going to be where my journey ends, but I'm going to fight until the day it does. And I'm going to advocate until the day it does. And when it does, I will rest, right? So I know that that is a much bigger problem to have than a litigation, but I look at how brave my sister was in that process, and I look at how much she fought and how she encouraged me to continue fighting, and it is the wind beneath my wings. We are still here. We are still here. Broken, bruised, traumatized, wake up every day thinking about all the people I've lost, all the things I've lost, and how I'm going to figure this shit out. Whew. Lord God, I wake up every day trying to figure out how I'm going to figure it out. And I get angry as fuck because I'm like, how did they flip this over on me and make me have to pay a multi-billion-dollar corporation millions of dollars because I asked them about something that I gave to them that is in fact substantially similar to what they have produced? But I understand that that's just the system we live in. You know, we just saw that the cop that did whatever with Breonna Taylor got a day or some shit, or I don't know. We saw Tip and Tiny, like, fourth trial they about to go into after winning $76 million. So real world, real business, you know, real answer is I want the people who infringed on my intellectual property rights to come to me with an offer that, you know, we can all be content with, right? That's what I'd like to happen. I understand that the likelihood of that happening and the likelihood of the Supreme Court writ are about the same, 0.0% chance in hell. But I'm still going to advocate for it. I'm still going to speak my truth. And once we know what it is, you know, you just kind of let go and let God at that point. But now is the time I need to be vocal and advocating. So I hope that answers your question, XO. P.S. 5 Miles to Empty is my favorite Brownstone song. It's one of my favorite Brownstone songs too. What is your character's name in Woo? I almost got my GED, motherfucker, so you can kiss my ass. Her name is Crayola, and she was on the phone talking to Purina, and she was trying to get her orange patent leather suit up out the cleaners. And y'all wouldn't even understand it, but I was ad-libbing the beginning before me and Tommy started doing our lines because they said just ad-lib some stuff on some phones. So I was ad-libbing all that stuff with Purina. And I got to get my orange patent leather suit up out the cleaners and all that stuff. Some of it I think was in the script, but they did have me ad-libbing. I was ad-libbing with Vera too. And many people don't know this, but Vera Brown was not an alcoholic when I read the script. I just want y'all to understand this. But anyway. Okay. Nikki, what is your take on the difficulty Salt and Pepper is having trying to get their masters? Run them ladies, they masters. See, here's the thing I have to say. And it shouldn't really actually be that difficult. Well, I don't know. Shit. Let me stop speaking out of turn because I don't have a lot of information on Salt and Pepper's case. Please hit the like button as you guys come in here. Thank you for watching on LinkedIn. Thank you for watching on Facebook. And thank you for watching on Instagram. I know Instagram, I'm like in your face. That's just how they do it. But if you if you want me to be less in your face, then come on over to WIRF.tv and hit the like button on your way in. Salt and Pepper and their deal, there's something called a Copyright Reversion Act, right, or rule. And every 35 years, any author, you guys remember this, take notes of this. Every 35 years, authors, whether it's a play or a movie or a TV show or an album or whatever it is, there is something that has been written into the Copyright Act that allows you to receive all of your goods, your creative publishing, your rights to what you've created. You get that back. So I believe what is happening, and I don't know if this is the case with Salt and Pepper. I really have to do a little bit more research so I can have a more intelligent conversation with y'all about it. But I think what's happening is people are making it more difficult than it needs to be for artists to be able to get their shit back. So, I mean, for example, you guys are probably going to hear that I'm, it's some other stuff going on. I'm just going to say, some people, I had no idea that Ed Sheeran covered a song with our vocals on it. So technically he covered the Tory Lanez version of Say It, but that requires a license, right? Like, it's just, there's so much stuff going on out here in these streets. And it costs so much money, as you can see, 5 years and millions of dollars later. It costs so much money for you to actually go and get what is yours. That's why I've been educating myself and taking these little legal courses here and there and figuring out how to file my own sugar honey iced tea, and got a lot of lawyers that are friends doing a lot of, I'll be your housekeeper for 2 weeks if you could just, barter. Because fighting for your creativity and your publishing and your rights is more than a notion. And I wish Salt and Pepper the best. They deserve it. They're legends in this game. I don't understand why it's so difficult, but it be like that sometimes. I'm praying for them, and they deserve it 100%. And you are completely right about the casting directors have made it easy. Hold on. Can't see nothing, girl. Child. Easy, too easy. They're only looking for people with a lot of followers. Yep, exactly. Oh, wow. You need to write a book. It'll be a bestseller. So, well, I do have a book, you guys. It is called Diary of a Diva. And there are 4 chapters. NICCI versus Goliath is the intellectual property battles, which will include all of my IP battles. The R&B Divas moment is a whole nother thing, a chapter. Brownstone is another chapter. And how I became this person from Detroit, growing up in an inner city, single parent home and all that stuff. So there will be novelettes. They're going to be individual books within this Diary of a Diva. The other part of it is, the idea is that Diary of a Diva becomes something that all of your favorite divas participate in and are able to share their stories on. So I'm looking to expand the brand so that we can hear everybody's story under this umbrella. And it's not a me situation. It'll be Diary of a Diva, NICCI Gilbert chapter, Diary of a Diva, Mickey Howard chapter, Diary of a Diva, Shaka Khan chapter. In a perfect world, because I just have the inability to think small. So we're working on the book. It was supposed to come this summer, but when the Supreme Court writ started moving and actually making some progress and looking like we're actually being reviewed meaningfully, which we are on September 29th, I said, well, I might as well wait and see how this thing wraps itself up. But you are definitely going to get this journey. And we're also in the process of editing and shooting the docuseries. Because, yeah, it's a lot, and it's been a journey, and I want to be able to give it to the people, which is why I need y'all to hit the like button when y'all come in here so the folks can really see it. When you get back to the lower court, will you continue on as a pro se litigant, or will you rehire your attorneys? I'm definitely, here's the thing. I can't afford to pay attorneys anymore. So either there are attorneys out there who see the value in a case like mine and are willing to do this on a contingency and join this winning team once we get sent back to the lower court, or I will damn sure be doing it myself. But I have a feeling that once the Supreme Court grants the writ of certiorari, which that's what we're praying for, that I won't have a problem getting an attorney to represent me. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay, Danica says, what advice would you give creators interested in creating short films and web series that wanted to follow in your footsteps? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, first of all, Danica, I would say we have got to connect, because I know we've said this a couple of times. Just do the thing, right, you guys? Like I said earlier, there's so many dope-ass creatives out here that get the numbers that linear TV and legacy TV just does not get. We are the sauce. We've always been the sauce. And I would love to see more of us collaborate and work together. So what I would say is build your team, right? Because the thing that prevents most people from getting things done, I have 4 films, 2 or 3 TV ideas, docus, all sorts of things. And the thing that stops me from being able to go forward, namely, is that every nickel we get goes into this litigation and paying the debt back on that and trying to figure out how to manage the mounting debt that we've had since. Keep in mind, you guys, not to play the small violin, but we went from COVID into the litigation, and the pandemic has never ended for my family, right? By the grace of God, we've been able to get by, but unfortunately, the reason why I haven't been able to really invest in some of these other ideas and creating them is because I don't have the financial resources to do so. And I don't want to bring partners into the mess that is me being responsible for paying all of Lionsgate and Starz and the billion-dollar companies' legal fees. Like, every time I think about that, I get infuriated. And there's nothing I can do but get on here and talk to y'all about it and vent a little bit and pray, right? But the fact that my whole life is disrupted because the judge in California decided that I was so frivolous that I needed to be taught a lesson and I needed to pay a multi-billion-dollar company, even with a sister who died of brain cancer, being a caregiver for her, even with losing my mother and my father just prior to that, and just being a single independent contractor creator who just paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, still owes them, and now owes a multi-billion-dollar company a couple $1 million, at least $1 million. I'm sorry, how did I get on that tangent and you were asking me something about creatives? You see? It affects everything. So my point was just find people who are like-minded. If you're a writer, find yourself a great proofreader, scripty. Then partner with some really awesome actors. Then find yourself a great DP. Then find yourself a great editor. And all of you come together and make this project together collectively. Unity and coming together and bartering with one another and really pulling it together without a big budget, without a big network, and get it to the people. The people are everywhere. The people are all around you. The people you see in social media every single day. That's the reason, I get on here and do these nights with Nikki. This going to be another long-winded one. I see him an hour and 15 minutes, y'all. She can talk, can't she? But the people in social media, those are your people. The people who follow you and subscribe to you, those are your people. So do the thing. Write the story. Create the short. I had to learn how to edit. Most of the stuff I'm doing, I'm not an editor like that, but I edit most of the things that we put up because we stopped being able to have an editor on payroll. We have a very small staff. Do the thing. Don't let anything stop you from doing whatever that thing is. If it's a song, if it's music, but also do the work of developing yourself so that you do the thing well. I see a lot of people out here that say they want to be artists and they want to be singers and they want to be talent. I'm 55 years old, married, happily, been with my husband for over 20 years. And I'm still in that gym busting my ass every single. I got hit records. I got songs I could just go up there and just stand in one place in a moo and sing and collect my check. But I still put the work into making sure that my mind, body, and spirit wellness is in pocket. And ain't nothing worse than somebody tell me they want to be an artist. And you ain't been in the gym. Bump all of, I wrote this song, I can really sing. If you want to be an all-around, well-developed talent, you have to commit yourself mentally, physically, spiritually to your craft. And if you can't discipline yourself physically, you can't put the smoke down, you can't put the drink down, you can't put the food down, you can't put and you expect to compete in this industry that is more visual than it is actually talent these days, and you can't give me a full story and a full picture, I would encourage you to find something else to do and make singing your hobby. So I say, if there's a thing you want to do in a path that you want to follow, invest yourself mentally, physically, spiritually in developing that and creating that thing, and partner with like-minded people and get it done. But Danica, on another note, I know you and I have a conversation we need to have. I love Vera Brown. Vera Brown was one of my favorite characters. If Tyler Perry decided to put Meet the Browns on the road, I would be there in a heartbeat. I'd drop everything to do it. It was just so much fun. It was therapy. So much fun. Do any of your celebrity friends support your legal fight, publicly or privately or financially? Ooh, I did say I would answer any question, now didn't I? Please hit the like button as you come in here. Did any of my friends? Yes, some of them have. Some of them in every way. But here's the thing that I say about that. I don't have a lot of celebrity friends. I just don't. Most of my friends are not celebrities. They're business people, regular folk, whatever. I don't have celebrity friends because I don't believe that in this industry you can really find that many people who, because I mean, bottom line is we work in a narcissistic industry, right? We work in an industry where people have had to fight their asses off just to accomplish the impossible. And to hold on to that, people are willing to throw you under the bus every single time if an opportunity comes up for them. And R&B Divas taught me about not calling people in this industry and in this business your friend. Because I thought going into that we were all friends. I thought that these were people who really loved me, really had my back, really was going to show up for me. We did this together. We came together in this whole moment. And I discovered the long, hard, and sad way that opportunity controls a lot of people's loyalty in this industry. So to answer your question, honestly, no, I don't have a lot of friends in this industry who supported me publicly, who have supported me. I mean, I don't expect anybody to support us financially because, you know, we all out here trying to make it work. But there are people, and some of them, you know, for sure, that have had my back. I can't say enough. You know, Faith Renee Evans has just always been a person who's shown up for me, even just to, you know, for me, showing up is just texting me, calling me, reaching out to me to make sure I'm okay. You good? You know what I'm saying? I saw you post some shit. It was a little crazy, but I said, you know, check, you know what I'm saying? Those are friends. But I don't have a lot of industry friends. The reason why people in the industry that are associates or that follow you or that like you or that kick it with you or whatever, don't get behind my case is because people not trying to mess up their bag. That's simple. Who knows? Lionsgate stars, Katori Hall might have a gig for him one day. There are people who were in Soul Kittens Cabaret who I have not heard from in 5 years regarding this. And I'm like, okay, I'm not mad because I don't expect it. I was disappointed initially, I have to say. But when I realized that this industry is just made up of a bunch of people who, you know, are just trying to get to the next check. And folks got their own mouths to feed, their own kids to take care of, and their own mortgages to pay. And people are not going to show up for you in that way in the entertainment business. I think, one of the clearest examples that we have of just how much motherfuckers don't show up for you is who you think was in that courtroom with Diddy. I'll wait. And if there was anybody in this industry that you thought had a whole bunch of friends that was going to show up for their asses, it would be Diddy. He'd be one of them. But that's not how this business works. And that's the reason why I'm doing a master's class, because I want y'all to know the truth behind the reality. Get your money, Nikki. Ed likes to sample shit. Oh yeah, we're going to figure that out. I want to address this in your defense, Queen. A lot of times people don't realize when it comes to groups, there will be moments of creative differences in personalities. Exactly. You're very welcome for the advice. Okay. J-Rock says, being an actor, I learned that everyone you see on TV moves and scenes together are not really close friends. They really don't like each other. They're co-workers. Exactly. It's just like, okay, this is the best example I can give you. If your job that you're going to tomorrow, you got people at your job that you love. You might bring them some lunch. You might bring some donuts. You want some coffee, girl? But they ain't never been in your house. They don't know your mama name. They don't even know your husband name. But you've been working with these people your whole entire time you've been at this job. And you don't dislike them. And it's not even like, I don't trust her. It's just, it's co-worker situation. And I think that this industry, long one. I think that this industry has people believing that just because you see people hanging out, in a picture or doing a reel or a TikTok video or some shit together, that they like this. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. It's just like the relationships that used to be set up back in the day, right? It was a thing in the 90s to like have your agent or your PR person connect you with whatever. And sometimes it was because you was really feeling the person. And sometimes it was just because it was a good look. And that has just become a thing. Like now it's so many. Okay, let me not get into these people's stuff because I'll be already talking too much and folks don't always like for me to be as honest as I be being. Have you and Kelly Price crossed paths? When you were booked on the same shows? Yes. Well, Kelly and I haven't really crossed paths. I saw her husband and he spoke backstage one day. And I was actually kind of surprised, like, oh, hi. And I went in and I was like, Kelly's husband just said hi. I said hi back. I don't have a problem with Kelly Price. I did. I ain't gonna hold you up. I was very in my feelings because while we're talking about friends, Kelly was somebody in this industry that I really considered a friend. And at a time when Kelly was going through we don't know what Kelly was going through because she didn't tell nobody. But her sister and her daughter and her son and her close family members reached out to me. And the reason her family reached out to me is because they said, we know you love my mom. We know my mom loves you. We know you really have her back. We need help. And I gave them that help. And I gave them that help because I still love Kelly. That is my sister. That is my soror. I love Kelly. And I was really upset because of the whole thing with the brat and her wife and all of the shit that they had to say, as if I was just out here maliciously like, ooh, let me get some. Because I didn't want to do it. In fact, my husband don't get involved in none of this, right? Because he's a real one and he just doesn't get involved in any of this stuff. Is that a mosquito? I done killed the mosquito on live. I'm sorry, Jesus. He said, I think you need to really advocate for Kelly. I'm worried about her. And my husband would be like, you tripping, da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? So for everybody to be, And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse or rehash this thing. And Lord knows I don't want the brat or her wife or nobody else like, there she go, her life. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we all good. But I did that because I love Kelly Price. I did not do that because I wanted clout. I did not do that because I wanted attention. I was in the middle of my P Valley case, which y'all knew nothing about because I wasn't talking about it then. But I knew I was about to get to a place where I had to file this thing publicly in a court of law. And I just really was like, oh, now they're going to be like, this back there, Kelly, not Katori. Now she just troublemaker. And you know, thankfully I have a spirit where I don't really care as long as I know I'm coming from the right place. But yeah, I was brokenhearted about it. Kelly and I have not spoken. But I love her, and I would love to have a conversation with Kelly because I really considered her a friend. We've been to each other's houses and had dinner and, you know, talked about things outside of music. So that was a major disappointment to discover that it turned into that. Anyway. We need a collaboration. Okay, now me and Kelly gotta do some music. I ain't gonna hold you up. Kelly is a singing fool. I would collaborate with Kelly in a heartbeat. Yeah, I did. I caught a lot of backlash. I did, and it's cool. I'm used to it. You know, I'm used to the abuse of this fake ass industry. But thankfully, I have a really good husband and a really good group of friends that are not in the entertainment industry. They real ass people. And I got 15,000 brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews and great management team and great partners and co-workers and a lot of really awesome people in my life. Y'all, thank God, who come in and show me love on my YouTube channel and my Nights with NICCI and all that stuff. And we've built a rapport. So I'm grateful. I'm not complaining about nothing. Tiana, well, no one can say anything because you were asked the question. Right, yeah, it is what it is. And here's the thing, you guys, I just don't take none of this shit too seriously. I really don't. Because guess what? When you lose as much as I've lost in this world, when you lose as many people, you guys make sure y'all hit like, share, and subscribe. Please and thank you. I don't understand why I can't post anymore. Oh, why is it so small? Hold on, that's why it's coming up. But it's like itty bitty teensy weeny. Oh God. Okay, now we back. Thank you. It's all about. When you lose as many people, as many opportunities, as many things that you create, I have been abused by this industry for my whole entire career. I have been a battered woman in the entertainment industry. Now, because I'm damn 6 feet tall and I got a big mouth and I speak what I have to say, most people don't feel sympathy for me. Like, oh, she's a battered woman. But I have been dogged by corporations, dogged by people I've provided opportunities to change their lives and their careers. I mean, please. I understand that everybody wants you to believe that R&B Divas didn't make them and didn't do nothing for them or whatever, but it's a whole lot of people who got a whole lot more followers than they would have if they wasn't on R&B Divas. You know a lot more about people that you might not know as much about if they weren't on R&B Divas. That's it. In fact, I'm probably the person on R&B Divas with the least amount of followers and supporters because I was the bitch nobody really, I don't have to tell y'all. But yeah, so I'm always thinking about ways to help build really awesome, great opportunities for people other than just myself. I've never wanted to stand on the stage with the solo spotlight on me. Just don't have the desire to do it. Now, because of my personality, sometimes that's how it happens. But I have never sought out to be that person. It's always like, come on, y'all, come on, you mind, come on. Like my husband say, you're just big and friendly and just always trying to look out for other people, and it's always a thing. Okay. Forever Deshaun says, And there are still things from R&B Divas still being talked about. That famous scene popped up in my feed in April. Yeah, that famous scene where the gums are black and the knees are knocked and all that other stuff. Yep, that came up. It comes up all the time. People laugh about it all the time. And, you know, hey, what can you do except say, well, when the black gums and the knocked knees sauntered off the set, so did the show and the ratings and the numbers. Was it worth it? I mean, it's good to be in the Hall of Fame for the greatest read ever, but at the end of the day, was it really worth it? And not just for the women on the show, but was it worth it for the fans of the show who perpetuated a lot of that? To just, you know, for the show to just go away and not come back. Because people are people. And some people will allow you to beat up on them and abuse them season after season just because they're getting that little check and will sacrifice their relationships with their husbands and their kids and all that other stuff. But some folks ain't doing it. I'm some folks. And if you want to be entertained by a show like R&B Divas, you got to treat the people better. That's just the truth, because everybody's not going to come back season after season after season and get beat up on by the cast members and the public. And that is the fastest way to ruin a franchise. And, you know, that's all I got to say about that. Off subject, I'm curious, do you miss the short haircut? I love, you know, it's really funny. My husband and I just had the conversation about, my husband and my daughter and I just had the conversation about me cutting my hair off. So stay tuned, y'all. I've been playing around with some ideas. Hi, I'm Jacoby from Flint, Michigan. I love the unreleased song on your channel. I'm not her and she ain't me. I'm not her, she ain't me. If you want her back, then go on, try to reclaim it. Hey, I'm not gonna try to keep faking. Oh, that was a good record. I love that record. That record, we wanted that record to on the single. Here you go, talking about the love you're not getting, talking about how you like her kissing, about the way she used to hold you in her arms. Then you say that you love. Oh, that was such a good record. Yep. Good record. Okay, guys, I'm at 1 hour and 30 minutes. I've enjoyed this Q&A. I think I got all of the questions answered. Did I miss? Let me just go through and make sure I haven't missed anybody's question. If I have, then please ask it again, and I will surely try to answer it. But I'm gonna try to, you know, get off of this thing. Thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in to Nights with Nikki. Why do a lot of celebrities live in LA? I don't know. Wouldn't be me though. I lived in LA for 10 years though. I was a resident. I bought my first home in Los Angeles, townhouse. Also, did you see the new trailer for Braxton's Family Value, More Sisters Fighting? It's like you can't escape it on reality TV. You know what's so funny? I saw that clip when I was coming from the gym, and it looked like Toni Braxton was flipping a table. I don't know if she was really actually doing it or not, but it looked like she was flipping a table. And I hope not. I really do. But then here's the thing. I'm going to leave that alone because I love the Braxtons. I love all of them. I wish them the best. And I tried to create a reality TV show where really amazing, talented singers did not have to do that in order to be successful on TV. I feel like y'all, and there are people out there who will tune in and watch it and support it without it being all of that other stuff. I think the first season of R&B Divas proved that. I hate to see it. I hate to see how we talked about it last night, the housewives. I hate to see the friendships falling apart. I hate to see the mother-daughter relationships falling apart. I really hate to see the sisterhoods falling apart. And I just pray to God that, instead of them blocking producers like myself, because I don't know that many others out there who are not going to, push people to engage in the debauchery and the crazy stuff. I'm one of the few that I know, me and Faith, and maybe there's some other folks out there that produce reality TV that doesn't require families to be ripped apart and doesn't require friendships to be destroyed. But I know that we are, and I know that we were pushed out of the franchise because we fought so hard for that not to be it. And that's the sad thing about R&B Divas. I spent so much time fighting for it to not be what ultimately ended the franchise. And I told them every step along the way, if we keep heading in this direction, the franchise is going to fall apart. And surely that's what happened. And some folks don't believe fat meat is greasy. And unfortunately, shows suffer. Why can't Black women who can sing their asses off, who have other things they'd like to share in their lives, their businesses, their clothing lines, their books, their, touring, why can't we have peaceful platforms to support each other and love each other and share these things with our fans? Do y'all even want it? That's the question. Do you want to see television where people actually get along and are productive? I mean, there's going to be drama because most of us is a little dramatic. But do you even want to see that? Will you watch it? Will you tune in? Ask yourselves. I'd like to know. That's the question I have for y'all. What was it like working with Trina and Meet the Browns? Awesome and amazing. Tree is one of my favorite people. Trina called me the other day. She and I are going to get together and have some lunch. I told you I love my Braxtons. What about an R&B Divas movie franchise instead of a series? That would keep you from getting out of control. I actually have a film that I wrote when I did not think R&B Divas was going to get picked up. And the film is called Driven to It. And it's a scripted sort of adaptation of R&B Divas before it even came out. So most people are probably going to think it's based on R&B Divas, but it's not. So I do have a scripted film about reality TV. That's one of the projects I told you was finished. I think Tony was fed up. Yeah, I mean, siblings have issues. I pray to God that they're able to get over it. If Brownstone had sung Don't Let It Go to Your Head, how would you have split the parts? We did do Don't Ask My Neighbor. It's on the brownstoneofficial.com website. I'll actually repost it on YouTube. We did Don't Ask My Neighbor, and M. Toomey produced it for New York Undercover. And it's a really good version of Don't Ask My Neighbor. So you guys have to see that. Reality TV destroys families. It definitely does. I definitely want to see it. That is why I used to watch Tia and Tamara, but they started getting a little... Yeah, I mean, I think people say that they want reality TV that's inspiring, but I think at the end of the day, everybody wants a little bit of drama. I think we had the perfect formula, though. I think we had the right amount of drama and the right amount of, compelling, captivating stuff that wasn't drama. All right, you guys, this is a long one today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Please do not forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. And if there is one thing that I can ask you guys, we're kicking off an initiative. We're going to kick it off at the beginning of August, right? Leading up to the September 29th long conference. That's what it's called. It's September 29th long conference of the Supreme Court of the United States. Like I said earlier, Katori Hall and Lionsgate, Katori has a separate attorney from Lionsgate. But the Lionsgate attorney and Katori Hall's attorney waived their right to respond to my writ of certiorari. Usually you see that happen when people don't believe that the writ is going to go through. But it did go through enough to get to the long conference on September 29th. So we're going to be doing some really cool stuff leading up to September 29th. You guys, every single day is a struggle for me. I know Oh, let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose, frowners never win. Oh, let the sun. I'm humming that song every single day just to remind myself to be grateful, to keep pushing, to not snap out on somebody, as much as there are several people that I can think of that I could give it to real good right now, and to be grateful for the opportunity to fight another day. So please support the petition. You guys, I got plenty of video. If you feel like you want to get educated on what it means to file with the Supreme Court, go back and look at the video of me reading the Supreme Court writ that I filed. Again, September 29th is the long conference with the SCOTUS. Please pray that the justices believe that I do deserve the right to due process. Please pray that I'm almost done, babe. Don't let him come in yet. Y'all, the bull is trying to come into the China shop. Hold on, Kato. Please pray that the justices believe that I am, in fact, worthy of a grant of a writ of certiorari. So we know for certain that creatives facing billion-dollar companies have a shot at a level playing field when it comes to protecting their intellectual property rights. Because if I don't get it, I don't even think that it's possible for anybody. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just telling it, calling it like I see it. All right, thanks for hanging out with me. Nice with Nikki. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate and love each and every one of you. And I might just see you all tomorrow night, depending on what these crazy ass people in this entertainment industry got going on. All right. Love you guys. Peace.